and welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and as always, thanks so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. Well, we're going to highlight a theater based in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. It's called DramaWorks, and Ed Wilhelms, the founder, is my guest today. And Ed, thanks so much for being here again.
Again, it's
yeah,
great.
I think this is your third time.
I know, it's really very nice of you.
Well, good, I'm glad to have you.
It's good for me too, it gets me off the streets.
Absolutely. What I like to do, which we talked about, is to talk about you and your background. So why don't you refresh the memory of the viewer, and let's get to know you first.
Okay. My background in theater?
If you'd like, go ahead.
Is my background, well, I guess I kind of started when I was a junior in high school, when I was 16. And I had a teacher. It all starts with a teacher, doesn't it? They change lives. But anyway, this particular teacher got a summer job as a director at a summer stock theater on Long Island. And he asked me, I used to hang out at the theater at school because my sister used to do painting. She used to paint the sets, and I would just sit there and wait for her. We would walk home. So he thought I had an interest in theater. Ha! I didn't know I did. But at any rate, he wanted to know if I wanted a job as to help him as stage manager. And I said, and it paid. And I said, yeah, sure. What's that? I mean, I didn't know. So anyway, I went, we did the one show, which was Wizard of Oz, and the Tin Man quit. So we got another Tin Man. And he was in rehearsal for a week or two or whatever, and he quit. Now we're very close to opening, and the director says to me, okay, pal, you're going to be the Tin Man. So I became the Tin Man. And that was my first role. And after that, I stayed there. And I was able to stay at people's houses. I asked them if I could sleep over. I mean, it was just, I was like a gypsy. I mean, I just wanted to be in the theater after that. So went back to my senior year of high school. Got offered tentatively offered a C.W. Post scholarship, a drama scholarship. But I had researched studying in New York, theater schools. And I opted to go to the well, go to the source, go to the people that were doing it, and wound up going to the American Theater Wing School of Acting, which doesn't exist anymore. It was tough to get in, and it was a very small group of people, 25 people in the entire school. And so from there was a couple of off-Broadway things, and then some more summer stock, and so it just started from there.
Did you think, now you're doing things behind the scenes now, did you think that you were going to be performing all of your life as a professional?
Well, I thought so, except I don't know what possessed her to say it to me, but there was the president of the American Theater Wing was a woman by the name of Helen Menken, who was really a very famous actress, and until she had a stroke. And then she had to stop acting, but she was a wonderful woman. And she ran the theater wing, and she also ran the school. And I went to her one time, and we were chatting about some advice into the future, and should I do summer stock, or because I had an opportunity to do Stratford Shakespeare Company. And so I was debating. And she gave me her advice, but she also said, someday you're going to make a great producer. I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't believe it. And of course, here I am.
DramaWorks, the theater, is a creation of yours. Tell us about it.
DramaWorks is on Boston Post Road in Old Saybrook. I found a space which was a flex space, warehouse space, empty, dirty, I mean, the floor was disgusting, you know, concrete floor, oil heat, which we still have oil heat. And I went in with a notebook and a tape measure and a real estate agent, and I just started measuring, and he's like, he thinks I'm crazy because I'm picturing a theater, and he's picturing a nasty, dirty space. What am I going to do here? So I said, this is perfect. Let's talk to the landlord. So we signed a deal, but it's kind of reminiscent of, excuse me, spaces that you might see off-Broadway or off-Broadway. It's a small, intimate space. We did spend some money on chairs. It's very comfortable chairs, because we want people to come back, even if they sleep in the chairs, just come back. And we have 42 seats, actually 44 seats, but 2 we reserve for wheelchairs just in case. They're removable. And the stage is about, I'm going to guess it's about 3.5 feet from the first row of seats. So it's very intimate, very close. To me, it's what theater should be. It should be, we should be almost touching each other.
Let's go right ahead to the calendar, because I know that you have many plays for 2023.
Yes.
Let's talk about it, and I've got it right here. So let me follow along with you. Tell us about it. Independence.
Independence, which is our second show. No, it's actually our third show. Independence is it's written by Lee Blessing, I believe. Yes, it is. And it's about a daughter who comes home at the behest of one of her siblings, because her mother is gone a little bit wacko, apparently. She was in a mental institution. She had some issues, but now she's decided to volunteer at this hospital, and so everybody's a little bit concerned. The other 3 daughters are a little bit concerned about the welfare of the mother, so they get a hold of the older sister who comes back, who doesn't get along with anybody. The younger sibling just wants to graduate from high school, shows she can get out of there. The middle sibling is pregnant. It's about a mother and 3 daughters. What could go wrong?
Go ahead with the next one.
What is the next one?
We've got micro shorts.
This is not fair. You had the cheat.
Well, you had one too when you walked in. But
what did I do with it?
But I've got you here.
Micro shorts.
You want to look at it?
No.
Okay.
Micro shorts is it's going to wind up being maybe 20 5-minute short plays written by 2 local playwrights, one in Old Saybrook and one in Guilford. And the group is Shoreline Playwrights, and we've made an arrangement with them to allow them just to use the space so they can show their work. I don't know any of the other playwrights that might be involved in it. We haven't really gotten into the production meeting on it yet, but it draws crowds. People like to see new stuff for the first time. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Yeah.
Okay, how about Looped?
Looped. Okay, Looped is a play that was on Broadway a couple of years ago, and it's about Tallulah Bankhead, and her last film. She had to re-record one line from her last film. It just didn't take. There was a problem with the sound, and she had to re-record. So they have her come to a studio to loop this in, re-record this one line. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. It took 8 hours. So and she's a hoot. Having met her, I'd tell you she's a hoot. And so this play is why it took 8 hours to do a 5-minute job. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's very fun.
How about The Children?
The Children is the children I've been wanting to do for a couple of years. And I started wanting to do it when we were shut down for COVID. And I was hoping to do it. I had to reschedule it. I finally just gave up on doing it. It's about a married couple who are retired from a nuclear power plant. There has been an accident, and a bad accident at the plant. And the younger generation that they trained are in there trying to contain this event. And they are visited by a woman that they used to work with. And she has an offer for them on how we can hopefully solve this issue, this problem, this event. It's a little sci-fi, it's a little mystery, it's a great evening of theater. I think it's very well written. Lucy Kirkwood.
How about Barrymore?
Barrymore, again, recently on Broadway. Barrymore rents a theater, and I believe it was a couple of months before his death. And he is in his mid to late 40s, perhaps. Maybe he's only 42, as I remember. No, I forget his age, frankly. But he rents a theater because he intends to do Richard III on Broadway, which he had done as a much younger man. Basically, it's a bare stage with John Barrymore and a bunch of costumes, and he reminisces. There's a prompter who he drives crazy because he's not paying attention and he's not rehearsing, he's reminiscing. So they go back and forth, and he'll touch something. It'll be a memory, and he'll talk about the memory. He'll make fun of his siblings, Ethel Barrymore and Lionel Barrymore. He'll sing a song, he'll do a little bit of a dance, and all of this is reminiscing.
Sounds good. How about Holiday Works in Progress? Again, Shoreline Playwrights.
Yeah, I haven't read anything from them on that, but that's going to be 2 one-act plays, which is really about all I know, but they'll be holiday themed, which I think is nice to do. And beyond that, we haven't really spoken too much about what they're planning on doing as far as topics and so on and so forth. But again, that should be, I want that to be fun. So hopefully that'll be fun.
It sounds like a good 2023 season.
It's an interesting season, I think. Comedy, drama, even the drama has comedy in it. I'm not really doing anything extremely heavy. I'm keeping it pretty straightforward, pretty not light. I try to find things that haven't been done much, except off-Broadway, Broadway, England perhaps, which is where the children came from originally. Mm-hmm. I try to find interesting things that will hold the audience, hold them in their seats and want to come back.
How do you decide on what you want to do?
Boy, that's a real tough question. There's an awful lot in consideration. I used to pick stuff that I liked, because I could, with an eye to the audience. Well, if I like it, okay, will the audience like it? Sometimes in the past that didn't work out. What I have to take into consideration, number one, is the space. The size of the stage. We have certain limitations, technical-wise. We can't afford to have as many lights as we'd like to have. I did invest in a new sound system, which is good, because we didn't have a very good one. Now we do. So I have to think about lighting. I have to think about set design. I have to think about where this takes place. I have to think about all the technical parts of it and all the production end of it. And if it's doable in the space, that's number one, if it's doable in the space. This is after I've read it. Now I'll look at it again and say, is this good theater? Is this a great story, or is this a really good story? Is this really good theater? That's the most important thing. Because if I can't do it technically, but it's really good theater, I'll figure it out. I'll find a way, I'll do it. And then, thirdly, will I sell tickets?
Yeah.
Will people come to see it?
Yeah, hold that thought. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You are tuned into Arts and Entertainment. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Product shortages and increased online shopping could create the perfect opportunity for scammers this holiday season as desperate shoppers turn to shady websites in hopes of finding this year's must-have gift. BBB recommends the following tips to shop safe and shop smart this holiday season. Research before you buy. Go to bbb.org and read customer complaints and reviews. Also do an internet search of the seller with the words complaint and scam. If the deal looks too good to be true, it probably is. The top motivating factor for people who made a purchase and lost money last year was the price. Beware of fake websites. Check the URL, watch for bad grammar, and look for working contact information. Also make sure there's a small lock icon on the address bar and HTTPS in the URL. The extra S is for secure. Beware of making quick purchases while scrolling through social media. Scammers have access to tools to learn about your buying behaviors and offer exactly what you want at enticingly low prices. Always pay with a credit card. It's easier to dispute a transaction and get your money back than with any other method of payment. For more holiday tips from Better Business Bureau, go to bbb.org/holiday.
And welcome back to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Deborah Gilbert, your host, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We're talking about DramaWorks Theater, which is based in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. And Ed, let's talk about the website. What will people find when they visit it?
They're going to find some photographs.
Yep.
They'll find some photos of the inside of the theater. The first thing they're going to see is the seating area, because I want people to see what it looks like inside. And they'll see some pictures of past shows and the audience. They're going to see the audience hanging around a lot. It's a very friendly place, and the audience after the show, they hang around, they talk to each other, they talk to us, they talk to the actors. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's sort of, I don't know, it's like a bunch of friends getting together for an evening, even though hardly anybody knows each other. It's really very interesting what's happened there. They will also see the shows that are coming up for the season with a description, much more of a description than we have time for each of the shows. They can donate money. They can purchase tickets, and they can see if they want to try acting, or if they are actors, they will see the auditions that are coming up. And all the auditions, all the roles available are on there now for the rest of the season.
The future of theater. We talked about it a little bit before you came on.
Yeah.
How are things doing in the industry?
Well, I think the industry is hurting somewhat. We talked briefly about Roundabout Theater Company has decided not to have a spring season, which is, wow. I mean, that's a big one. Roundabout has been around forever. Gene Feist, the founder, and I knew him, and I knew this was his baby. I feel very badly that they're not going to have a spring season. But from what I understand, it's the lack of funds. Every theater relies on donations. whether they're from the public or they're from the federal government, which is still the public. But they're just not raising money. City company, SITI, which never produced a lot, but they taught a lot, is closing after, I believe, something like 30 years. I can only assume that it's maybe money. I don't know. It costs a lot to keep a theater open. It costs a lot to produce. Although I see a tendency towards smaller theaters. The smaller theaters in New York are maybe not thriving necessarily, but they're still there. The small off-Broadway, I think will still be there. We have 42 seats to worry about, not 142 seats that we're trying to fill. And I think the tendency is to get smaller, maybe. I think the big guys will come back, but I think we need to start spending less on gas, less on eggs, less on chicken. People are spending money elsewhere.
The theater, your theater, DramaWorks Theater.
Yes.
There are many viewers that are out there saying, I've never heard about it, I want to go.
Yes.
How do you get the word out that it exists?
Well, it costs a lot of money to do that. But we have found that, first of all, we advertise. And we target marketing to people that are interested in theater, acting, entertainment, digitally, that are interested in that. There are a lot of people that don't know about it. Jokingly, I said to somebody, well, they're not interested in theater, are they? Because if you Google us, you'll find us. So if you're in the area, even just visiting, and you Google theater, you'll find us. If you're interested in theater and you check with the Chamber of Commerce, you'll find us. So if you're interested in theater, generally you'll find us. But promotion and advertising costs a lot of money. So we do target, and we do digital, mostly digital, and we target our audience. And that way we can hopefully hit the people that are going to want to buy tickets. So it is difficult. Word of mouth, though, is really very, very helpful. And people have been spreading the word. And I see, I get a report of folks that are buying tickets by name. And I see lots of new names that I have never seen before. So we're getting people to come back, and we're getting new people to come, who hopefully will come back. So it's a slow build. I've said in the past it takes 3 years to develop an audience. Mm-hmm. Well, we were shut down for 1.5 years of those 3 years. So we're really only into, our third year now. So, and I see it growing. I do see it growing, but we'll get there.
Okay, so on the website you have an audition page. So that is for my actor that is out there that would like to be able to perform, they would be able to submit themselves to you by finding you on the website.
Yes, the dates are there. We usually don't require any pre-registration, and when you come, we don't require monologues. Most of our auditions are going to be reading from the script. We'll have sides from the script that they'll read on stage. It's very laid back. Nobody's going to be yelling at anybody. Everybody is treated with respect and dignity at DramaWorks.
As we start to run out of time, what are your thoughts to the viewer that may be finding you for the first time or finding you again? Talk to them as to how wonderful you folks are. Which I've been to your place 3 times, thanks to you. And having you on the show 3 times. I love the work that's there. How does somebody come and find you? I mean, you're a hidden gem.
You mean directions?
Well,
Directions are on the website.
I
too,
drove
by
the
way.
day before
Yes.
to be able to find your building where
Here's
you
what
were.
I told somebody, in all seriousness. I got a phone call from somebody. Who's on? Which
What's
camera?
that? Oh, Debbie?
This camera?
Oh, no.
I want to talk.
Okay, you can talk to camera 2.
Okay. So I got a phone call.
Oh, camera 1, excuse me, this one.
All right. So if I got a phone call from a woman who wanted to know about the theater, where it was, how to get there. So I told her where it was, how to get there. She wanted to know if the seats were comfortable. I said the seats are comfortable. If you don't like the seats, you got to love the seats are comfortable. So she said, I forget the name of the show, it might have been Rabbit Hole. I said, well, you come and see Rabbit Hole, and I guarantee you're going to like the show. If you don't like the show, you come up to me afterwards and tell me you don't like the show, and I'm going to give you your money back. So, money back guarantee. I'm
There you
serious.
go. There you go.
We are really as close as you're going to get to professional work in New York City. My goal is to keep you off the train.
And our goal is to say thank you very much for coming because we have run out of time.
Oh, shucks.
Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm Deborah Gilbert. You have been tuned into Arts and Entertainment. Hope you enjoyed the show. In case you'd like to volunteer, please contact me. I'm at artsandentertainment@mail.com. Have a super day today. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you next time.